Microphone.
Ajahn, you had given us the name of a book, Being Nobody, Nowhere.
Yes, it's from Ayakema.
Yes, I happened to read the first 2 chapters, and thank you for suggesting it. Is a very nice book, and it gives step-by-step instruction to even beginner level people on how to do meditation. Would you recommend some more books, or probably tell us about the books that had a profound impact in your path, in your life?
A profound influence.
Influence or impact?
Impact.
In your life, which you would recommend for us?
Well, it's a bit distant now. For me, I tend to, because I'm part of a tradition where practice is much more interesting than books reading. Not against books reading, because when we were younger, younger nuns, we didn't have many books really in terms of deeper practice. So we used to read. I remember the nuns. We used to read the Huangpo or Huineng. 2 Chinese masters, very beautiful teachings, very direct, very Zen in a way. They were Chan master. And from the Buddhist practice, I have had so much oral teachings that my main, the things that have influenced me or have an impact on me was mostly through oral teachings. I remember reading a book written by an Italian writer on Buddhism that really had quite an impact the first book on Buddhism. There is also a book called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind.
Suzuki.
Yes, that's one of the books that Ajahn Sumedho, I had already read it, but he recommended it, after very early on, when there was no books around, really. Now we have so many books from this tradition, from monks and nuns and so on, so. I've never been so impressed by books. Books have never really had such an impact on me. I'm much more touched by the oral traditions, transmission tradition. Ajahn Chah's book, I really loved this teaching. Yeah. They were very important for me. Ajahn Sumedho, I was hearing it 3-4 times a day, teaching in the early days for many years, he could give a talk up to 3 times a day. Yeah, that's about.
Thank you.
I mean, there's many books I can read now, which are interesting. I mean, there's so many books interesting, but I prefer the Forest Master's book. So I like Kinanayon, like lay woman who is very famous in Thailand for her path of practice. And she has a book called Pure and Simple. And it's been translated by Ajahn Thanissaro. Have you heard of him? Yeah. So he translated it. I was really impressed by this book.
In the same name in English? Pure
and Simple.
In
yes.
English.
Yes, it's in English, yeah. Otherwise it's in Thai, yeah. And then, all many of the teaching of the Forest Master I absolutely love. And there is one, let me see, the teaching of Ajahn Dhammārāma and all teachings that are for free distribution on the net, probably somewhere. Yeah.
Thank you.
If anything comes to mind, I can tell you.
Thank you.
कल बुक गई थी बीइंग नोबडी गोइंग नोवेयर, वो काफी उनको अच्छी लगी। तो और भी कोई पुस्तकें हैं जो आपको आप रिकमेंड करती हैं? तो आपने अजान ने जवाब दिया कि हम उस ट्रेडिशन से हैं जहाँ पे मुझे प्रैक्टिस में ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट था, और जब हमने शुरू किया तब ज़्यादा बुक्स नहीं उपलब्ध थी, ओरल टीचिंग से ही इन्फ्लुएंस होता था। तो उन्होंने बताया कुछ चैन मास्टर्स की बुक्स थी, कोई इटालियन की लिखी हुई बुद्धिज्म की इंट्रोडक्शन की बुक थी, फिर सुजुकी की किताब है जन माइंड बिगिनर्स माइंड, और अजान चा की किताबें। अजान सुमेधो से तो बता रही थी कि प्रतिदिन 3-4 बार डायरेक्ट टीचिंग मिलती थी। फिर एक पुस्तक उन्होंने जो पहले भी कही थी उपासिका की नान की, प्योर एंड सिंपल, उनको विषय था कि जो फॉरेस्ट मास्टर्स हैं उनकी टीचिंग वो काफ़ी उनको उपयुक्त लगती हैं, जिनमें अजान ली दमधरो भी हैं।
You can pass the microphone when somebody lifts their hand up.
So a few of my non-meditative friends are of the opinion that since I have been associated with the Vipassana and I've been exploring and questioning, so my first course was in the year 2000. So many of my friends are still non-meditators, including my husband, but this is not about him. So they think that I'm a quote-unquote loser, and then they explain that they have a justification for calling me a loser. They say that you are in this materialistic world, and then you have had your share of failures quote-unquote. So they look at me like somebody who is confused, who is not going to a monastery, who is wanting this other life, worldly life, but then again has a very different approach, different from theirs. So basically, so my question is that they think, my non-meditator friends think that only losers, when they don't succeed in the material world, that is when they actually shut shop and go to a monastery. So I just wanted to hear something from you on that.
That's a very common belief. Yes. It's been going on for probably 2,500 years, you know. Yes, it's not new. Yeah, you can tell your friend. Actually, what your friends think, does it matter to you? So we can just, we'll finish the question, that's it. Does it matter to you, you know? You want to have an answer for me, don't you? What does Ajahn Sundara say? Well, you know, my experience is that the people who come to to listen to good teachings or good practice, or like a monastery, like a good teacher or good sangha, you know, it has to do with people who have seen dukkha. Not suffering as a problem, dukkha, the first noble truth. And something in them has already informed them that maybe a way to understand dukkha, which is, you know, the world is riddled with dukkha, and they finally have maybe an inkling in themselves that this dukkha can be dealt with, but they don't know yet how. So they come to the monastery guided by life, I tend to call it, and then they discover maybe the teaching is available, and they have people who practice this teaching, who can advise them and guide them and so on, you know. So yes, they have seen the suffering of the world. Yes, they don't come, you know, I was quite happy when I came myself, you know, and I'm sure other people were very happy. I've noticed through coming to, with career behind them and, you know, a very full life, you know. But people also, no matter how you get and how rich you get and how endowed with material, gifts you have, or material or mental or physical, at some point when people wake up, they see dukkha. They know this unsatisfactoriness of the world. For me, I used to say the world doesn't offer me what I want, and I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew the world hasn't got what I'm looking for. That's all. And your friend tells them it's a problem. And let's go and have a cup of tea. Isn't it the quickest way? And then you'll see if they are your real friend. If they allow you to be different from them, That's a real friend. I wish I could. So, in 4 ways, young householder. Okay, I think it started a little earlier. So the friend who appropriates, the friend who renders, and that flatter, the friend who brings rain is 4. It should be understood as warm-hearted friend. He was a helpmate. And just on the warm-hearted friend, we're looking for the profound friend. I can't find it. You see, a friend who is a helpmate, a friend, somebody who will support you and kind, a friend in happiness and woe. First of all, he talks of the different kind of friend who are not real friend, in the Sigala Sutta, the Buddha talks. And the friend who gives good counsel, the friend who sympathizes too. These 4 friends are the wise, behold and cherish them devotedly, as does a mother her own child. The wise and virtuous shine like a blazing fire. He who acquires his wealth in harmless state. Okay, so basically, a true friend is somebody who accepts you as you are, also. It's a true friend is somebody, in the modern world, I'm not talking in the times of Buddha, but in the modern world, if you feel some ways are more appropriate for you, and then they say, oh, I hope you succeed in your particular, path. So they think that you come to a monastery where everybody has kind of given up on themselves and life, and you're going to be guided by a bunch of idiots. Is that it? Well, a bunch of people not as good as. Well, I wouldn't worry. You may lose your friends when you come to you change. I lost many friends when I became a nun. Not because they disliked me, it's just that we didn't have the same lifestyle, that's all. Although I don't know if I should say that. Can we cut the... No, I shouldn't say that. It's better not to talk about yourself too much, I'll tell you privately. Yeah, so we can finish with the friends, Just stay friends with them. Stay friend with them, right? Tell them you're very happy that the life works for them, and tell them I'm very happy that my life works for me. I've had, a fundamentalist Christian, sort of coming to the monastery in the kitchen while I was mopping the floor and finishing the washing up, coming to basically convert me, and it was difficult. He was a very nice young man, He's different from you, but in terms of response, he was listened to me very kindly. They must have a whole kind of pattern of how to go about to convert people. It's like you listen, you're very kind, listen, and then at some point he says something that if I became this or that, I would be this or that, whatever, something really wonderful would be. And I just said to him, for me, I'm so glad something that you have found your way. I'm really happy for you, And for me, Buddhism works wonderfully too, it's really fantastic. I'm really so happy to be a Buddhist nun. he didn't have anything to grasp anymore, he left. Do you understand? There's no need to make people unhappy because they disagree with you, But it's a very ordinary perception. And they probably miss you also. You have to look at all the different aspects. I mean, I'm sure they miss their teachers. They miss the people who they cherish in the past. You have to think of them as well. So they must miss a lot of you. Do you understand? On a human level, just without going into, in a kind of apathy about it and saying they shouldn't think like that and why do they? Just no point to relate in that way. It's just miss you maybe. Right? Don't worry, if you do the right things, things will work out. Okay. Yes.
आपका प्रश्न था कि हमारे कई जो मित्र साधक नहीं हैं, वो उनको लगता है कि ये जो ध्यान का मार्ग है या मोनास्ट्री में जाने का मार्ग है, वो वही अडॉप्ट करते हैं जो जिंदगी में फेल हो जाते हैं, जिंदगी में सक्सेसफुल नहीं होते। और उनको ये लगता है कि क्योंकि हम सांसारिक जीवन में अधिक सफल नहीं हुए, तो अब हम दूसरी तरफ जा रहे हैं, मोनास्ट्री की तरफ और ध्यान करने की तरफ। तो अजान ने उत्तर दिया कि ये कोई नया कमेंट नहीं है, 2500 सालों से ये कमेंट चला आ रहा है। और उन्होंने पूछा कि क्या उनका ये कमेंट से आपको कुछ फर्क पड़ता है? तो प्रश्नकर्ता ने कहा नहीं। तो उन्होंने कहा फिर प्रश्न है ही क्या, प्रश्न तो खत्म हो गया। फिर भी उन्होंने आगे उस पर चर्चा की कि जो लोग इस मार्ग पे जाते हैं वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने सचमुच में इस सांसारिक जीवन की अनसेटिस्फैक्ट्रीनेस को, उसको दुख को देखा है, उसको समझा है। और वही लोग फिर ऐसे मार्ग पे चलते हैं क्योंकि उन्होंने दुख को देखा है और समझते हैं कि कोई रास्ता होना चाहिए और कोई रास्ता बताता है, तो इसलिए वो वहाँ आते हैं और वहाँ पे देखते हैं ऐसे लोग अवेलेबल हैं जो कि हमको रास्ता बता सकते हैं। अपना उदाहरण देते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि मैं तो काफ़ी प्रसन्न थी और परिवार से भी सब ठीक था। और बाकियों का भी बताते हैं कि कई लोग अपने बड़े कैरियर छोड़ के आए हैं जो मंक बने हैं। तो चाहे कोई अमीर हो चाहे गरीब हो, कितना ही ऊंचा हो, हर जो भी सेंसिटिव आदमी है वो देर सवेर समझ जाता है कि सांसारिक जीवन में उतनी तृप्ति नहीं है, उसमें अतृप्ति रहती है, एक सेंस ऑफ लैक रहता है, दुख रहता है। तो इसलिए वो अगर वो सेंसिटिव है तो वो कोशिश करता है जानने की कि दुख से कैसे सचमुच में मुक्ति कैसे हो सकती है, क्योंकि संसारिक की अपनी लिमिटेशन को समझ जाता है। और आपने कहा कि मुझे काफी जल्दी मालूम पड़ गया था कि संसार जो है वो नहीं दे पा रहा जो मैं चाहती हूँ, और इसीलिए इस रास्ते को चुना। एक और कमेंट उन्होंने कहा कि सच्चा मित्र वो होता है जो कि अपने दूसरे मित्र का एक्सेप्ट करे जैसा भी वो हो, और आशा करे कि आप जिस मार्ग पे भी चल रहे हैं उस पे आपकी सफलता हो। तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं भी जब नन बनी थी तो कई मित्र जो पुराने मित्र थे उनसे संबंध टूट गया क्योंकि वो लाइफस्टाइल डिफरेंट था। तो अगर कोई ऐसे प्रश्न के डायरेक्ट उत्तर में उन्होंने कहा कि अगर कोई आपसे ऐसे कहे तो कहिए कि मुझे खुशी है कि आप अपने सांसारिक मार्ग पे बहुत प्रसन्न हैं और मैं अपने मार्ग में बहुत प्रसन्न हूँ। तो उसमें क्या कोई विरोधाभास नहीं है, क्योंकि सामान्यतः क्या होता है कि हम जस्टिफाई करने लगते हैं तो उसकी करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। और एक और पॉइंट क्या है कि हो सकता है कि वो आपके उपलब्ध ना होने के कारण आपको मिस करते हैं और इसलिए ऐसी कमेंट करते हैं ताकि वो फिर उनके लिए उपलब्ध हो सके।
Respected Ajahn, I have a personal question. Since we are living in the society, we have interaction with people, in the family also, otherwise outside also. So sometimes doubt arises in my mind that this fellow is a cheater or liar, this kind of, and I am sure that he is like that. He or she is like that because since I know that person for a long time. But then doubt, if that doubt is not sure, whatever doubt I have in this mind about him, so is it going to add negativity, negative sensation in me? Is negative sanghara? Or if not, then how to deal in this situation?
When you have the feeling that somebody is a liar or a thief or well,
yes, liar or cheater or deceive, he has deceived me or he may deceive me. I don't believe him.
Right. So we call this assumption, don't we? You assume that he might be. Isn't it true?
No, but he may have done, because I know his behavior for a long time. He is that kind of a person. Whether he
so
or she.
Shall we say it about 98% assumption or 50% assumption, 50% not true? True or not true?
This I don't
50% assumption that what you think is true.
Yes.
And then you express a doubt. So can we say 50% of doubt will think maybe not? Maybe yes, maybe not.
50.
I would not know how to respond to your question. Because for me it would be like an assumption, you know. I mean, if you were with a person, you say, you know, I'm thinking, I had a feeling, you know, with a third person as a witness, you know, in case something happened, you know. I mean, like people get angry or something. I say, I had a feeling that you stole things from my house, you know, and I wonder whether it's true or not. What does it bother you since you've known somebody for so long?
I feel that I am adding negative sensations, which I don't want. I want to be aware all the time. I am aware that I have a doubt. But whether that doubt is sure or...
Should I check? Should I know for sure or not? Now, the situation is a little hypothetical for me because I can follow you, but who are you talking about? Exactly what?
Maybe since I know the questioner, maybe I can...
Okay. So, you know what it's all about.
Yeah, I know. Because I have tried to sort it out a number of times, but not much successful.
I'm happy. Thank you for clarifying that I'm not the only one who struggled. But I think, Mrs. Da, I think you need to come and sit near me, and we have to decorticate this question because right now it's rather abstract. Your husband can't do it. I can't do it.
No, I can explain the question.
Pardon me?
The question is very clear to me.
Oh yeah, the question is clear.
Yeah, answer is also clear, but she won't accept. So I'll tell you.
No,
so if you tell, she's likely to feel that it comes from a wise person.
It comes
from a wise person.
From the right person.
Wise person.
A white? Oh, I see.
I would like to,
is pretty white.
I would like to seek answer from you.
I know.
Yeah.
I would like to seek answer from you.
On the right. White. W-H-Y-T-E.
No. W-I-S-E. W-I-S-E.
Oh, the wise.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
I'll explain to you the background. You see, the question is not entirely based on assumptions. Suppose there is a person who has actually done something wrong.
Yeah.
And say hurt again and again a few times, and that impression that that person is hurtful sustains for years, decades.
That's right.
And that keeps on creating negative aversion, sankhara in the mind.
Yeah, yes.
So in my opinion, there is no use of carrying it on with that impression. And who knows, the person might have changed, isn't it? You're talking, she's talking of a time span of 20 years,
yes,
10 years.
Yes, yes.
Say there is a person working and he's done something wrong, clearly.
Yes.
But it's not necessary that we should store that impression for eternity and create a big negative aversion, compound aversion in our mind stream.
Well, Ajahn Sumedho used to give us quite a bit of teaching about thinking about the people which 30 years ago had, done like boom, to us in the face and had criticized us, and remembering 25 years later. But as you said, I think out of compassion, not only we want to free our mind, but we want also to free other people's mind. So the most important thing, one of the teaching of Krishnamurti, which really helped me, was the fact that he had a very poetical way of expressing, expressing the truth. And I remember, just sort of meeting people as if you met them for the first time. That is really hard because it means you have to have a mind that's not clinging to perception from the past. Now, I think it's really compassionate to meet people, without that kind of memory of... The memory may be there, but the memory is then turned into a Dhamma object that can be let go of, you see. Like I was saying to somebody today, when regret and sort of remorse comes into the mind, it's fine. Regret and remorse, you don't have to cling to them or think there is a problem. They just come out. They come up into consciousness so you can let them go. So you have residue, in a way, residue of memory of this person. And today, is still alive, this person? Yeah? Still alive? Yeah. So today, you're not sure whether this person is the same awful person, 20 years ago as now. So I think it's good just for yourself, for your own heart, to let go of all perception. Give the chance to this person, and if you have really a problem with this person, then you can deal with it there and then, without going back to 20 years ago, he did this and that, and so on and so on. Maybe he does it more, what is the word? Without being seen, furtively. Maybe this person has developed skills to continue the same thing without being seen. You don't know. But I would not carry around a bad memory of somebody. It doesn't help me and doesn't help the others, whoever it is. My practice is to let go of everything. There's no kind of thing I keep saying, no. It's much healthier. No, for you first, and then for the person next to me. Then you don't recreate it in consciousness, and then that perception jumps out of your mind immediately. As soon as you meet the person, immediately you remember that. What I would do if I were you, I would remember the good thing you remember from this person. What good thing that can counterbalance this memory of, unskillful action that you have so clearly remembered and talked about, So, try to see if you can let go of the bad memory, the old sort of unpleasant memory, and also try to remember if there is anything that this person has good aspect, good thing that he or she did. Yeah? Not sure about that, huh? Yeah, it's hard work, but it's worth it,
प्रश्न था कि कुछ लोगों के प्रति हमारी मन में धारणा है कि उन्होंने हमारा बहुत नुकसान किया है और वो धारणा बनी रहती है लंबे समय तक, तो क्या ये एक हमारे लिए नेगेटिव संखारा, अकुशल संखार बनता है? तो आपने उसका उत्तर दिया कि किसी पुरानी बात को लंबे समय तक याद करना हमारे लिए ही कष्टदायक होता है और हमें अपने पे भी करुणा करनी चाहिए और दूसरे पे भी करुणा करनी चाहिए। उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा एक उदाहरण दिया जय कृष्णमूर्ति का, कि वो कहा करते थे कि जब भी किसी से मिलो तो ऐसे मिलो कि पहली बार मिल रहे हैं। तो तात्पर्य ये है कि उसकी पुरानी बातें जो है वो सब हटा देना चाहिए। अगर हम कहते हैं कि हम प्रेजेंट में रहना चाहते हैं तो मेरे ख्याल से बहुत उपयुक्त एडवाइस है। और ये आप जान ने कहा कि ये सचमुच में करुणा की बात है, अपने पे भी और दूसरों पे भी। और कभी भी पुरानी याद को लंबे समय तक रखना और ये सोचना कि वही आदमी है और वैसा ही रहेगा, ये ठीक नहीं है। और आपने अपना उदाहरण देते हुए कहा कि मैं तो सब चीज जो भी ऐसा भाव आता है आई जस्ट लीव इट असाइड, आई लेट गो एवरीथिंग। और वो हमारे मानसिक स्वास्थ्य के लिए और शारीरिक स्वास्थ्य के लिए भी अच्छा रहता है। और कोशिश ये हो कि अगर उसने हमारे लिए, उस मनुष्य ने हमारे लिए कोई अच्छा किया हो, वो याद रखें तो ज्यादा बेहतर रहता है। हमारे स्वभाव, हमारे आपसी व्यवहार भी सुधर जाता है, कि सुधरने की कोई संभावना रहती है और जो नेगेटिविटी है उसको काउंटर बैलेंस किया जा सकता है।
John, I'm asking a question that came online. During meditation, some sensations are unbearable. At times, pain is unbearable. How to deal with it?
Well, is it pain that is caused by posture? Is it a physical pain? Is it a mental pain? Is it a body pain? You know, what is it?
Well, it's not specified here.
It's difficult for me to answer.
Okay.
Because if it is a physical pain, like let's say your knees ache, hurt so much, you know, then what you can do is you can move around. In our tradition, you can stand up quietly without disturbing your neighbors. You can shift your knees from one side to the other, again discreetly, out of kindness and respect for others. You know, and if you have a pain in your body, one of the organs of, you know, is painful or something, maybe you need to find out advice from a doctor, or, you know, sort of, there's no kind of recipe for these things. You have to deal with them as it comes, you know. Because sometimes people have pushed really hard, thinking they were doing the right thing, and then they, you know, they hurt their knees, they damage their tendon, their ligaments, you know, so many things that can happen if you're not really careful and wise with your body, limits of your body. So in our tradition, you don't have to endure pain, you know. You see pain, and if your mind is able to see pain coming and going, you know, it's a really personal experience. Do you understand? Some people can take pain more easily than others. If you're frightened, if your mind gets involved with the pain, that compounds it, you know, because you start being frightened, anxious, and that kind of increase the pain sometimes. Yeah. So I would say with pain, you just you know, check it out. If it is something in your back, maybe you need to rest, you know. Sometimes you need to rest and maybe lie down and come back and sit again, you know. So it's a kind of gentle, non-violent approach, you know. Yeah. That's it. Okay.
I'll finish.
Oh, Sam, sorry.
Finish with the translation. प्रश्न था कि मैं साधना करते हुए शरीर में काफी दर्द होता है, अनप्लेजेंट सेंसेशन होती है। तो आजान ने पूछा क्या वो शारीरिक दर्द है या मानसिक परेशानी है, क्या पोस्चर के कारण हो रही है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर वो फिजिकल पेन है, शरीर में पेन है, पोस्चर के कारण है, तो आप उसको शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं, खड़े हो सकते हैं। और अगर कुछ इस तरह का दर्द है जो कि उससे रिलेटेड नहीं है, तो वी शुड कंसल्ट, डॉक्टर को कंसल्ट करना चाहिए। हमको जोर जबरदस्ती करके अपने शरीर को के प्रति द्वेष नहीं रखना चाहिए, हमें अपने शरीर के लिमिट्स को भी समझना चाहिए। हमारे, आपने कहा कि हमारे इस ट्रेडिशन में हमसे ये नहीं कहा जाता कि आप दर्द को एंड्योर करते रहो अंतकाल तक, बिल्कुल कंटिन्यूअसली, इतना कि हमारे लिगामेंट भी खराब हो जाएं। और हमें ये भी समझना चाहिए कुछ लोग कि हर एक की दर्द सहन करने की सीमा होती है, जब तक हम दर्द देख सकते हैं, आ रहा है जा रहा है तो ठीक है, लेकिन अगर कंटिन्यूअस है तो हमको उसका जरूरत हो तो डॉक्टर के पास जाएं, और ज्यादा दर्द हो तो आराम करें। और एक और बात आपने कही कि अगर दर्द से मन घबरा जाता है तो जरूर उससे वो दर्द बढ़ भी जाता है, तो इस बात को भी जांच लेना चाहिए।
This question is by the lady with whom you had a WhatsApp call yesterday. I have an overthinking mind, obsessive thinking, a mind which wants to brood, and it just can't relax and stay in the present. Could you share any practical tips? Should I chant something while I sit, or any other way to keep the mind in the present and on the breath? And then she's also added just now that also daydreaming.
Do you remember the story I mentioned to you about giving my mind 3,000 years to keep on talking and it stops, you know? So if somebody has an aversion to thinking, unbeknown to you, you keep it going. Do you understand? That aversion disable your thinking from moving on, or from, you know. The idea of meditation is that, you know, if she's averse to that, that creates havoc, you know, because she's trying to push something out and she can't. It's not a question of pushing your thoughts out, or daydreaming is part of it. It's good she daydreams. Sometimes it's relaxing to daydream, you know, for consciousness, for the mind. You know, it's like what's important is this ability to see, to know for oneself, to know directly what's happening. We want to pick and choose what we want to know and see, don't we? That's the trouble. It's a picking and choosing. According to what you read about Buddhism, about this and that, about this teacher, that teacher, you pick and choose all the time. And that's what creates restlessness, disappointment, because you don't get what you want. Instead of just looking, you know, when I look at the carpet, I see brown, orange, narrow, straight. God, the carpet is really slow. Can't he get out of it? But this carpet is stuck on the floor. I can't do anything about it. Do you understand? That's the way it is right now. Okay? We try to control what we want to see. We give ourselves the right to start controlling the content of the mind, and then that really disconnects us from reality. The reality is what you see now. So this lady, she can chant, she can you can say something, you know, whatever helps us to really relax and calm down, bring the mind to a state of, you know, stabilize the mind. You cannot stabilize the mind, you know. Lompocha compares it to like a cobra, you know, it just flows. And a cobra, so if you don't touch it, it doesn't bite you. But if you touch it, which means like if you're averse to it, then that's what happened. It doesn't really, you know, the thinking that you're hoping to see decreasing does not happen the way you hope. So I think she should really come to approach her thinking with a kind heart, patiently saying, if I will listen to my thinking without really minding now. To listen to my thinking, to listen to my mind, as Ajahn Sumedho sometimes used to say, as in those days we were all young, so he could talk like that. You know, now I don't know what I would say. Like an old lady on the other side of the fence, I just can't blah 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 blah. You know, blah 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 blah. That just kind of, you know, senile and just keep on talking on their own to the grass and the rabbits around their garden. You know. So you just listen as if you were talking, listening to an old, batty person next on the other side of the fence. So she could try that, just maybe you don't want to tell the batty mind, but just like an old lady, she just patiently, or a granny, she just patiently listened. I mean, she might have a granny if she's not so patient, so maybe, just ask her to bear with the mind peacefully. No goes on in her mind. The peace is what's going to change the mind, not her desire to change it. And, she can help herself. I mean, she's a singer, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah. So she can have a little mantra. I would give her a little mantra, like Buddho. She can breathe in naturally, Bud, breathe out Do. Or is she a Buddhist? Is she a Buddhist? I mean, does she know Buddhism? Yeah. Okay. So basically she could say, Buddham Salam Gacchami. It's just a way of calming down. You bring a few words like that, it calms down the mind, The mind is working with these words and it just kind of, that calms it down. So you can take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Buddhang Dhamma Sangham. She can use simple words like that. Buddho is one of the most common ones. Bud inspire, do expire. She can also go Buddhang Dhammam Sangham Namasami. Buddhang Dhammam Sangham Namasami. Right? Or she could also say an English, version. I mean, another English way of calming the mind down. May I be well on the in-breath and at peace on the out-breath. May I be well on the in-breath and at peace on the out-breath. Yeah? Sometimes listening, if she has sound outside, in her house or in her outside, she can focus just on sound. That really calms the mind down, just the sound. But if she has any inkling to want to get rid of her thoughts, it's not the right way. Because it's still clinging. Whether you want it or you don't want it, you're still grasping. Ask her, does she mind these thoughts? Obviously she does. So at some point you have to stop minding. If your mind is like this, just it's anicca. I mean, you've seen enough things passing through to know that it's not worth fighting with it, it's not worth struggling with it, it's going to go. And if you still push it, it'll come back. That's the danger. It keeps coming back. If you don't kind of cut the fuel that keeps that thing coming back, you only cut the fuel by making peace with it. Mindfulness was another word. Have you been here before? First time. Are you from India?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't in Dhammārāma. He had registered but had to go out. So.
Okay, that's all right.
So the प्रश्न था कि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा सोचती हूँ, ऑब्सेसिव थिंकिंग है और मन जो है सोचता ही रहता है, और क्या मैं किसी तरह से मन को रोक सकती हूँ ताकि वो प्रेजेंट में रहे और सांस पे रहे। तो अजान ने जवाब दिया कि जो मैंने स्टोरी एक बार कही थी कि एक बार जब मन बहुत बोल रहा था तो मैंने कहा चलो मन तुम बोलते रहो, 3000 साल तक मैं वेट करूंगी, तुम अपना बोलता रहो। तो उस तरह से एक्सेप्टेंस से मन अपने आप शांत हो जाता है। तो उन्होंने कहा कि सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत है कि सोचने के प्रति अवर्शन जो है वो हमको ज़्यादा परेशान करता है और वही उसको उस विचारों को रोकने से रोकने नहीं देता। नहीं तो चाहे कोई भी चीज़ इस संसार में ऐसी नहीं जो हमेशा अनंत काल तक रहने वाली है। उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि डे ड्रीमिंग की बात है तो वो उसमें कोई दोष ढूंढने की जरूरत नहीं, समटाइम्स कभी कभी वो रिलैक्स भी कर सकती है। सबसे मुख्य बात जो है कि हम अगर अपने चाहें कि सब चीज़ें हमारे कंट्रोल में रहें तो वो जो इच्छा है कंट्रोल में रहने की, जो तृष्णा है, वो हमको सच्चाई से दूर भगाती है और इस कारण से मन जो है कभी और उसे रजिस्ट, जितना उसको हम रजिस्ट करेंगे उतना वो परसिस्ट करता है। तो आपने कहा कि हाँ आप चैंट करना चाहती हैं, जो भी जिससे भी आपको रिलैक्स मिल सकता है वो चैंटिंग कर सकते हैं। और अजान चा का एक दृष्टांत बताते हुए कहा कि मन को एक कोबरा की तरह समझना चाहिए, वो आता है वो अपने आप चला जाता है, लेकिन अगर आप उसको छुएंगे और उसको छेड़ेंगे वो काट सकता है। तो इसी तरह से मन आ रहा है जा रहा है, अगर हम उसके साथ एक निरपेक्ष भाव से रखेंगे तो वो हमको अपने आप उसकी शक्ति क्षीण हो जाएगी, तो शांत हो जाएगा। जो हमारा मन निरंतर विचारों में उलझ रहा है, हमको उसको सुनना चाहिए, जानना चाहिए कि मन में क्या हो रहा है, किस, और एक स्थिति ऐसी आनी चाहिए कि उसको उसी तरह से देखना, जैसे कोई घर में हमारे पड़ोसी जो है कोई कुछ बोले जा रहा है, लगातार बोले जा रही है, कोई बूढ़ी औरत है जो उसको आदत है बोलने की, बोली जा रही है, तो हम जान रहे हैं कि बोला जा रहा है, लेकिन हम उसको महत्व नहीं देते। और इस तरह से अगर हम अपने मन के साथ शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से रह सकते हैं, उसके मन के विचार करने के स्वभाव के साथ, तो धीरे धीरे वो स्वभाव कम हो जाएगा। जो हमारी ये इच्छा है कि हम उसको बदल दें, ये इच्छा ही हमारे मन को रोकने से मना करती है, वो ही उसके लिए मुश्किल बन जाती है। फिर उन्होंने कहा कि कोई आप मंत्र रख सकते हैं, जैसे बुद्धो मंत्र रख सकते हैं, या बुद्धम शरणम गच्छामि चांट कर सकते हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि वो शायद सिंगर हैं जिन्होंने प्रश्न किया है, तो कोई भी सुटेबल चांट, या अगर अंग्रेजी में जैसे कहते हैं मे आई बी वेल, सांस अंदर जा रहा है तो ये कहें, सांस बाहर आ रहा है तो कहें मे आई बी एट पीस, या जो मेहता चैंटिंग है वो कर सकते हैं, तक या साउंड पे जो बाहर शब्द है, कोई भी साउंड है उस पर आप फोकस करें तो उससे भी मन शांत हो जाता है। सब मुख्य बात यह है कि हमको अपने मन से झगड़ा नहीं करना है, जो हो रहा है उसको जाने तो वो अपने आप स्वतः हो जाएगा। उसके प्रति अगर द्वेष का भाव रहेगा तो वो रुकेगा नहीं।
And there's one final question. Earlier things were happening so fast. Now I feel it's so slow, and I feel I'm a different person than earlier after regularly practicing meditation. I feel I'm turning desireless and getting less ambitious than earlier. Importantly, getting contented easily. Is it a sign of progress on the path? My question is whether getting desireless is good or bad. At times, I am not able to understand my feelings or sensation. Sometimes they are so strong that I could not keep equanimity and reaction comes naturally. Another predominant feeling is not able to make people understand pretty simple things, which is so simple.
You know, how old is this lady? Herself. How old is this lady? Okay. Well, you know, the path of practice really does slow you down. But you can go fast when it's necessary. It's not that that's the only way. You know, you just slow you down when you were in a hurry because you're not so much not as impatient as you used to be. You're not as stressed maybe as you used to be. You're not as angry as you used to be. So things calm down, you know. It's like you can go slowly, you can go fast. As you get older, things have the potential to slow down as well. You know, the system, you can see old man, old women, old dog, old cats. We all have the same, you know, kind of qualities at some point, the same sort of signs of aging. you don't walk so fast, you don't speak so fast, you're not sort of so gregarious, you're not so, and also the body sensation diminish a little bit, decrease a bit, which is a relief when you had a lot of sensation and so on. At some level, it's not unwelcome, But there's a process of practice plus aging and so on brings you to a pace that's kind of suitable for the life that's in you at the time, And then desireless. It could be that she's not so greedy. And it's true that, the path is not so easy, especially if you're on your own, in the sense that the mind that is letting go of everything, and especially if you kind of think the path rather than be the path, If you think the path, you torture your mind because the mind is not the only thing in your life that conduct your life. Do you understand? Thinking is not the only thing. You have a feeling, you have sensation, you have perception, you have, experience, knowledge, and so on. So that's why it's good when you really start letting go of through the practice to also look at the paramita, look at what you can do into this world, which is skillful and in harmony with Dhamma. Yeah? There's many, many things that we can develop in ourselves whilst letting go of I, me, mine, etc. Which brings a sense that all your desire to do this and this and that, and we're kind of connected with the material world, with the social world, and so on, is decreases, Like Ajahn Sumedho used to say, once you're mindful and really not so worldly, people leave you, They're not so interested, so exciting, so glamorous, so interesting, and so on, So are you prepared to do that? It's like you would say. So it's not something extraordinary, really. If she's desireless, she can just meditate on this sense of desirelessness. In some teaching, desirelessness is the beginning of enlightenment. So some teaching says, your mind must become desireless, and say, if you're addicted to desire, then you say, my God, I'll be dead if I let all my desire go. But don't worry. Take refuge in a good life, take refuge in the refuge of life. Because life, until you die, there will be a desire, there will be things coming up. You won't stop so quickly, And then at some point, when you really do some work on yourself, then you look around and there's many things to do to help the world, which is in such a mess, right now. Right? You can think creatively about what you can do. The old desires maybe are dying, are there, have no object because there's no interest anymore. Like going off on the other side of the planet, having another boyfriend, having, going to the movie, maybe going to the opera, or going to the, doing this, some activities that used to be entertaining and fun to do, suddenly you don't get so excited, So you just learn how to slowly adapt to life in an aging body, maybe,
प्रश्न था कि पहले सब चीजें बहुत शीघ्र गति से होती थी, अब ऐसा लगता है कि मैं स्लो डाउन हो गई हूँ और बहुत जल्दी संतोष कर लेती हूँ, डिजायर्स भी कम हो रही हैं। पूछें क्या डिजायरलेसनेस होना अच्छी बात है? कई बार मुझे फीलिंग्स के बारे में मालूम नहीं पड़ता, कई बार ज़्यादा मालूम पड़ता है, मैं लोगों को चीज़ें एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाती हूँ। तो इस तरह के प्रश्न था, तो उन्होंने महायान ने जवाब दिया कि जो हमारा साधना का मार्ग है उसमें गुस्सा का कम होना, इम्पेशंस का कम होना, ये सब तो स्वाभाविक ही हैं और चीज़ें शांत हो जाती हैं। और वो पूछ रही थी कि उनकी आयु क्या है, क्योंकि उन्होंने जैसे बताया कि जैसे शरीर की आयु बढ़ती है तो चीज़ें नेचुरल रूप में एक जरा धर्म यही है कि चीजें स्लो हो जाएंगी और आदमी उतनी तेजी से बात नहीं कर सकता, बॉडी की सेंसेशंस हल्की हो जाती हैं, तो वो प्राकृतिक है, तो उसको बुरा मानने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है। और धीरे धीरे जब हम साधना ठीक से करते हैं तो हमारी जीवन की पेस एडजस्ट हो जाती है जितना कि हम हैंडल कर सकते हैं। अगर हम इस तरह की डिजायरलेस हो रहे हैं, इस तरह की बातें सचमुच में अनुभव न करके केवल विचार करके रहे हैं, तो विचार करने मात्र से जो है, इफ यू थिंक अबाउट द पाथ रादर देन वॉकिंग, तो फिर परेशानी हो जाती है। हम अपने आप को परेशान करने लगते हैं सोच सोच के कि ऐसा हो जाएगा तो क्या होगा। केवल थिंकिंग से विचार करना ही हमारा सत्य नहीं है, फीलिंग्स भी हैं, परसेप्शन, हमारी वेदना भी है, संज्ञा भी है, संखार भी है। और फिर उन्होंने कहा कि जैसे इस तरह की सामान्य जीवन की जो पुरानी इच्छाएं थी कि वह फिल्म देखने चले जाएं, इधर ये कुछ कर लें, वो कर लें, वो कम होती हैं, तो नई इच्छाएं भी जागती हैं। जैसे उन्होंने बताया कि हम अगर अपनी पारमिताओं को समझें तो सद्गुण बढ़ाएं, और तो हमको समझ में आ सकता है कि जैसे चित्त शुद्ध होता है कि हम क्या कुछ कर सकते हैं जो कि धर्म से हार्मनी में हो, धर्म के धर्मानुकूल हो, हाँ, उसमें मैं और मेरे का भाव ना हो, तो फिर वो हमारे कर्म जो है पारमिता बनते हैं। और आपने कहा कि आप डिजायरलेसनेस पे भी, जो विराग की बात कही जाती है, उस पर भी ध्यान कर सकती हैं, उसका रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकती हैं, क्योंकि वो मुक्ति का मार्ग बताया गया है। तो उसको अगर कोई आदमी पहले बहुत इच्छाओं से एडिक्टेड था तो उसको लगता है कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, लेकिन सचमुच में तृष्णा विहीन होना है एक मुक्ति का मार्ग है। तो हमको एक कुशल जीवन, कुशल चित्त के साथ माध्यम से जीने का अवसर मिलता है। हम आत्म केंद्रित न होकर संसार की मदद करने की बात कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि चारों तरफ हम देखते हैं कि कितनी परेशानी है। तो इस तरह से पुरानी डिजायर छोड़ने से एक कुशल इच्छाएं भी जागती हैं जो हमारी पारमिता बनती हैं, और हम उस हिसाब से अपने जीवन को रीअडैप्ट कर सकते हैं।
Okay, so it's about 5:05. We can stop now. Not stop mindfulness practice, but stop the question answer session. And then, do you want to talk about 6:30?
So we will have a break until 6:30, and then we start at 6:30 until 8.
That okay?
There's a gentleman who wants to make some offerings.
Yes, you can do this now if you want. And I just want to say, during this hour and a half, you have your tea. Please take advantage of the center and the place, to do practice, to do sitting practice or walking practice. Don't talk with each other, please. Did you hear that? Don't talk with each other. Yeah? It's hard, but it's worth it. And I mean, if you have things to do, if there is an important thing like deep tea or Olpan or Mr. Da, that's okay. There's things that needs to be done. But if you don't, then take care of number one and your practice, your heart. Okay.